Absolutely. Today is day 2 of the Lord's Test and England are 251 for 4. They've got a good start and the start of day 1 was indeed England's Joe Root. But India need quick wickets today on day 2 to put pressure on England. They have a new ball in hand and it can do the trick like it did at Edgbaston.
Well, Joe Root also can create history today with his 37th century on the card, but injury scare looms large. And moreover, how a slow start can be turned into a classic performance remains to be seen on day 2. And interestingly, the venue, Lord's, is the only ground with a 2.5-meter slope, which helps the bowlers generate more lateral movement than usual. So in the next half an hour, we'll get you this and more with latest news from Lord's, analysis and facts ahead of the second day, third test that begins in a short while from now at the iconic Lord's Stadium.
Yes, let's get it started. Let's start Lord's face-off.
Yeah. Well, England batter Joe Root needs 1 run to complete his century against India on the second day of the third test at Lord's on Friday. And this would be his 37th test 100 and a record 8th century at Lord's. The hosts will resume the day on 251 runs for the loss of 4 wickets as Root's unbeaten 99 checked the visitors' progress on the opening day of the match. England captain Ben Stokes was 39 not out and they have added 79 runs for the 5th wicket. Root came to bat when England had slumped to 44 runs for the loss of 2 wickets after paceman Nitish Kumar Reddy struck twice in his first over to remove the openers Ben Tuckett and Zach Crawley. Root shared a grinding partnership of 109 runs with Oli Pop to bail the team out of trouble.
Yes, and England will head into the second day of the third test against India with fresh doubts of the fitness of captain Ben Stokes. The skipper pulled up with what appeared to be a groin issue late on the opening day, with Stokes receiving on-field treatment before he batted on until the close of the play. The 34-year-old Stokes' career has been blighted with injuries, with a long-standing knee problem requiring an operation in 2023, while the all-rounder has suffered 2 serious hamstring tears during the past 8 months. England vice-captain Oli Pope said they were keeping their fingers crossed and hoped that Stokes can do something magical and come back strong on day 2.
And before we get to a quick analysis of day 2, let's take a look at the highlight of day 1 as well of the ongoing third test. Well, Joe Root finished unbeaten on 99, 37th century on the cards. England ended day 1 at 251 for a loss of 4 wickets after 83 overs. And the partnership between Joe Root and Ben Stokes steadied the ship for England. And Root and Stokes together added 79 runs. Now, India took the second new ball late in the day. And not only this, it was the slowest day for England in the best ball era.
Absolutely, just 2.5 overs with the second new ball. Can it do the trick? We'll get to know. Joining us for more, a senior sports journalist, Mr. Malay Nirav. Welcome, sir. Welcome to DD India. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. 251 in 83 overs, and in baseball era, this is one of the lowest aggregates by England on the first day's play. And we also heard Mohammad Siraj on the stump mic too, is saying where is the baseball to Joe Root. You think they have changed their strategy a bit, trying to be more cautious?
Of course, no doubt about that. See, when they said that they would rather play the boring cricket of yesteryear's test match style cricket, they were conscious of the fact that they had started the day on a very, very poor note, with Nitish taking 2 wickets, and the third one being a miss, with Shuman dropping the catch. I think they realized that if they go all hog here on this ground at Lord's, they might just end up losing the match. So it was a shift in strategy, very well thought of. And the captain did very well. And of course, as you know, Shiraz was trying to be a little, witty with him and just trying to be a little sarcastic when he said, well, where is your best ball gone? Now, but at the same time, we must not forget that our seamers bowled extremely well. Though we got only 4 wickets, India got only 4 wickets, but don't forget that they didn't give away too many runs. So if you end the day with 4 wickets and 251 runs for your opponents, it's not a bad deal. But today they will have to show their skills a little better. They will have to make sure there are, as you said, injury concerns on both the sides. And I'm very happy for one thing, let me tell you, before I close for your next question, that being a purist, I'm very happy that we are seeing the quote-unquote boring old-style test match. This is where the true mettle of the players is tested.
And when we talk about the boring match and, when we consider Lords, its slope is one of the areas which is, just taking the highlights of the entire match right now. And when we talk about the non-baseball era, the slow match and the fact that Joe Root and Ben Stokes are doing so wonderfully good. And today when they open up with continuing the same partnership, not only are we expecting a good century, the 37th century from Joe Root, but Ben Stokes is also adding a lot of momentum. Yeah. How do you see this as a threat to Team India? Because currently we are at 1-1.
I don't see much of a threat. You see, the same ground remains for both the teams. I remember when I was in your program, the day the last match, his Baston match was going to begin, and people were saying Bumrah should have played here. I had given this argument, if you recall, that let us keep Bumrah in the reserve for Lords. Yeah. Lords is the most unpredictable ground. It is the best, it is a mecca of cricket, but it has got a ground which is very unpredictable. It is like the British weather. And with the weather conditions, as you see, keep changing from time to time, the bowling conditions also do change. And hence, to rule out any wonderful kind of wicket-taking bowling by Indian bowlers today will not be acceptable, because the way they bowled yesterday and the way there are injury scares. As you know, Ben Stokes, when he went there and Pope came and said that he hopes that he'll be back for the next 2 matches, which are very crucial. He was in considerable pain. It was a groin injury, which he has had earlier also. He was looking in considerable pain. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I hope he recovers, comes back, plays well for his country. And there's care on our side too about Rishabh Pant. Though I'm told that he's much better, but whether he'll be in his elements or not is another big question mark. So the game, which is unpredictable by nature, on an unpredictable wicket, in an unpredictable weather, well, it is anybody's guess.
Weather, in fact, is very hot there, signs of heat wave. That's why I think England, they won the toss and batted first. But Mr. Nirav, I was actually thinking about you when India won the match at Edgbaston. And I mean, we were discussing the other day that Bumrah should be part of the team or not. And I was thinking that you would have...
Yeah, give me 30 seconds. I have never heard so many positive comments. And everyone was saying that that was a wonderful program on DD India and the way it went. And today also I have received so many messages saying that whatever we discussed on day one with you there, it was liked by your audience very much.
But Indian bowlers also, Mr. Nirav, you think... they look completely different. I mean, Siraj and Akashdeep, they shared 17 wickets together in the match, and Siraj was lethal. I mean, he was different when he plays. He's different when he plays when Bumrah is also in the team. When he plays with the other bowlers, you think that also makes the difference? Because if you look at the average also of Mohammad Siraj, it's better when he plays without Bumrah.
Yes, and we always count the average on the basis of number of wickets. I keep telling my listeners all the time that, look, whenever I am doing some analysis, I say, look at the number of runs given. That is important. Wickets are important, but the number of runs, the way they controlled it yesterday, do you think this kind of a English team would have made only 251? for our bowlers. Our seamers were bowling so well. They were not giving.
That's the lowest percentage. Yeah, lowest percentage when the after the baseball era started.
Yes. So let us not start the day on a pessimistic note. I'm quite hopeful that England will not be able to cross the 350, 400, max 400 mark. No, I don't think so.
And we have with us Taposh Bhattacharya as well. Taposh, as Mr. Malayanirav says, England won't be able to cross 351 or max 400. What do you think? Because considering yesterday's performances and, Indian bowlers, they have performed good, 82, 4 wickets in 82 overs. What do you think of today's target? And how can India, really restrict Team England? Because we really want to repeat something that happened at Edgbaston.
Yeah. Deepika, you are very excited, and I hope that what you just said came true. Nirav said, the Nirav spoke about the fact that it's important to keep them restrict them under a competitive total. The English team will be looking to go and score at least 100 to 150 runs. That's what they want, at least on the first 2 days. But looking at the way they played and again, we saw that in the baseball era, this is the first time ever that they have scored near about 3 runs per over. So if that trend continues, it's not going to be easy. The main thing for England will be how Joe Root plays in the next hour or two, and his innings will be crucial. If Joe Root goes out and then after that, the other players don't give enough backing, then it will be very difficult for England to score anything over 350. Ben Stokes is also a key player, and if he keeps his natural instinct going, if he attacks from one end, and Joe Root can keep keep his wicket intact on the other from another end, it will be interesting to see how Indian bowlers go about their job. So that is one part of it. The second and important part is that you have to understand that India's best bowler, not just in this, but overall, has been Bumrah. He hasn't played the second test match, and he played the first test match. But, whenever he comes on to ball, one looked like he can pick up wicket. Yeah. And Joe Root has faced in that particular session, I think second session or the first session, if I'm not wrong, when they were bowling out of Bumrah's 5 over, he only faced 2 deliveries. So the team management should look into that and try to make Joe Root play as much as possible to Bumrah. So if you get Joe Root out, let's say 120, 110, it will be difficult for England to reach the 350 run score. For India, the second and third day will be the best suited to bat. The pitch we saw in the last session also is proving little bit of help. There is slight movement, but second day and third day, in general, we have seen in Lords is the best time to bat. So India will be itching, Shubman Gill will be itching to get a bat on this particular wicket, and they want to get rid of this pair of Joe Root and Ben Stokes as early as possible.
Second and third days, Tapas, you are saying best wicket to bat on. But if you look at day one, Tapas, the attack percentage is also 29.4%. They were not even trying to attack. Is the wicket a bit trickier, or Indians bowled well?
Well, I would say that England were cautious. They got a massive jolt after the Edgbaston test. They didn't realize, that India can come back, and not just come back in style and blow them, in the whole test match. I think in the whole test match, only 2 sessions England were on top, and that says a lot about Indian team and the way Indian team actually played at that particular test. And in this test, we saw that England were very cautious. You probably heard Mohammad Shiraz chopping on that stump mic all the time. Bas ball. Where is that? The Shubman Gill saying that welcome to boring cricket. So they were skeptical. They were cautious, and that's something that we saw in the run rate as well. So India bowled well, but I believe that they could have bowled a little, on the stumps and probably a little fuller. They were on the shorter side and probably bowled on the 4th and the 5th line stump. And that's something that gave the English bowlers, batsmen, the chance to leave most of the deliveries outside the off stump. So that's one thing that Indian team, when they will be taking field on this particular second day, especially in the first hour, there will be some moisture, there will be some movement of the track. They will like to make the most of that.
Now, coming back to you, Mr. Malayanira, when we talk about the Indian squad, we also have to talk about Nitish Reddy because he is levelling up. Yes. And we also saw the comment where he said that he took the advice from Pat Cummins on not only the England conditions, but of course about the Australian conditions also. How do you see that helping Nitish Reddy and his performance? Because he's learnt a lot from IPL. This is what he said.
Yes, and it has been going on for quite some time. You see, it's nothing new in the world of cricket. When you are not on the ground, then you don't consider each other as opponents or enemies or so on, or foes. So if you, especially a young player, walks up to a senior from any other team and seeks advice, normally you would get the best advice. I can tell you that biggest rivals, India and Pakistan, Wasim Akram, used to advise many of our bowlers, and many of our new faces in the pace battery have gained a lot. Tremendous improvement in their bowling was observed with the little tips that they got from Wasim Akram. So if Pat Cummins is helping him, well, I think it's a very good thing, and it is not unusual. However, what I'm trying to tell you here is that when they go to bowl today, the first couple of hours are going to be very, very important. Because right now the temperature at Lord's is about 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah. The humidity is less than 40%. The wind is blowing at 5 kilometers per hour, which is nothing. So the advantage that you want to take of the morning wicket, that is something where you should try and hit as many as you can in terms of both the batsmen hitting runs and the bowlers taking wickets. So this is going to be a very tough fight between the bat and the ball. Let us not assume that England will have a free hand the way they had yesterday. They were very cautious. They were playing cautiously, but the Indian bowlers were bowling brilliantly. So trying to tell you here is that these 2 hours are the hours to watch. If it gets a couple of early breakthroughs, a couple of more wickets in the first hour, and then maybe 1 or 2 again, then England team will not be able to stand the pressure. So the first hour and the first couple of hours, 2 hours, are going to be very, very crucial. And the Indian bowlers will do their best to make sure that if at all Stokes is back and he is not fully fit, there'll be a mental, psychological pressure on that man. Yes. Because he was in deep pain yesterday because of his groin. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that things are going to be very exciting. The next couple of hours will be very, very exciting. Right. It'll be cricket. It'll be a good struggle between the bat and the ball. However, England has an edge so far as the whole match is concerned. Let us not forget it. They will be not the last. They won't be the last to bat. They would like to avoid that situation.
First hour, you are saying, first session will be very crucial today. Tapas, 251 for England. 83 overs were bowled on day 1. And just 2.5 overs with the second new ball. New ball did the trick at Edgbaston also. We saw in a couple of occasions. Expecting the same here?
Absolutely. In fact, it's going to be a battle of attrition for both teams. For India, they don't want to lose the patience and bowl haywire. No more harakiri on the second day or first day of second morning of the second day. Same with the England team. They have done the hard work. The last 10 overs in the last session, got only 25 runs. Overall, the score average was 3 runs. And the last session scored I think 70 runs they scored. So they want to build on the solid foundation that they had. They had 250 odd runs on their scorecard. They're 4 wickets down. They're 2 of the most important batters right now on the crease. Joe Root playing on 99, and history has shown that 16 players who have scored 99 have gone on to score 100 in this particular Lord's ground. So the history bodes well for Joe Root. For Ben Stokes, it's going to be interesting to see how he plans his innings. So it's going to be battle of attrition. Indian team will be on a high because of the way they bowled in the first day, but they don't want to give any loose deliveries. So it's going to be interesting to see. And remember, the ball is still new. It's quite hard. So there will be appreciable movement in the first hour or so.
When we, this is what Mr. Malayanirav also has been emphasizing, that the first hour is really, really crucial when we talk about it, and the ball plays a very important role, and especially the pitch too. But when we talk about it, Mr. Malayanirav, and as Taposh just mentioned about patience and the form Indian cricket team is currently, dawning. It is worth mentioning about Shubman Gill, because the kind of performance that he's been putting forward with a lot of grit, convenience and yet a lot of patience speaks a lot. It is not only about the captaincy that he is handling very well, but also we are hearing the reports, which is not confirmed yet, that the ODI captaincy can also be handed over to him. What do you think of his current latest form, what records he created at Edgbaston after 58 years, and now the way he's leading Team India?
First thing first, batting and playing with a cool mind. That's very important. Showing signs of maturity when he's playing some team like England in a test match. That's extremely important. Also, the signs that he has shown of maturity and also resilience. You see, the catch that he dropped, he would not have been very happy, though it was a difficult catch in the gully, but the way it was dropped. But he forgot about it. Next, quality of Shubman Gill, which I have noticed. The way he rotates his bowlers, excellent. He keeps an eye on the field all the time. That's another very good quality that the captain has. Besides all this, as they always say, if the captain is leading from the front, half the battle is won. And he knows how to lead from the front. He never demoralizes his teammates. He's always there to encourage them to go and back. He's down to earth. He doesn't throw tantrums. He doesn't show anger at the wrong place on the field,
Right.
So these are the qualities which make him a very mature captain. I tell you, when Nawab Patodi became the captain of Indian team, and before that, he had been the captain of the Oxford team. People were saying, what will this man do? He's very young. He doesn't have too many runs in his kitty. He has not done anything very great, but he was one of the most successful batsmen because he organized his team captain, because he organized his team very well. Similarly, we saw Saurav Ganguly, the way he brought the team. He made them work as a unit with a leadership that was always handy for them to support them where they needed most. That is what I'm seeing in Shubman Gill. Also, he doesn't lose focus. He doesn't lose concentration. He's not affected by the scoreboard not moving or moving in the right or the wrong direction. He plays his natural game.
Yes.
He wants others to play his natural game.
Yes.
These are some of the qualities.
And he has also worked a lot on his defense, and 430 runs in the series so far. But very quickly, Mr. Nirav, your predictions have been spot on so far. What's your prediction for the England score in the first innings?
Oh, you are going to put big question mark on my bread and butter by asking a cricket analyst to predict all the time. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to tell you here is that it will be very difficult for England to have a cakewalk on this ground, even when they have 6 wickets in hand. Look, the fact that they were not able, they're used to a new style of batting. That's what we call baseball cricket. Now that they had to forget about yesterday, which means the team is under pressure, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
They do not want to go all hog, as I said earlier. So, how much is this pressure able to convert into wickets in terms of the Indian bowlers maneuvering and manipulating with it
Right.
is something remains to be seen.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Malanirav. Thank you so much, Taposh Bhattacharya, for joining us and bringing a rounded perspective on the third test, day 2 of the ongoing India versus England test series. And we'll be back with more news and updates. Keep watching Daily India. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
A confluence of spirituality, knowledge and culture. The progenitor of democracy, Bihar holds a special place in India's history.